Hey there, I'm Diane Lee. I'm coming to you live from Washington, D.C. here on LinkedIn. Getting a little bit of feedback, but we'll try to fix that in a minute. Great show today. We are talking about our virtual conference coming up November 18th and 19th. This is one you do not want to miss. We've got Lindsay Geiger, our Director of Education, here to talk about it, and also Judith Rodriguez, who is a research associate at the Zoffness program at Harvard. Both of these ladies have put in a lot of effort into this virtual conference for months now. And I tell you, nobody does it better than they do. So they're going to talk about what they have in store for you. Lindsay, let's get started by talking about first, before the virtual conference, that pre-conference workshop for folks who are interested in Envision. What is that all about?
Sure. We wanted to, no, I don't have some feedback.
Let me mic myself. Maybe that'll help.
Okay. So we really wanted to pull together the whole package for everyone. So whether they are well-versed in Envision, if they've had their ENVSP, they can join us for the full week and earn all of their education hours by participating in our pre-conference live presentation of their prescribed courses. But we also wanted to pull together kind of the full package and introduction to Envision. So if somebody's never heard of it before, or if they're vaguely familiar, interested in pursuing their ENVSP credential, we have a workshop lined up the day before the conference begins. So November 17th, we're offering a live workshop facilitated remotely over Zoom. We'll give you all of the skills that you'll need to become an ENVSP. So we have those items lined up on November 17th, a couple of things that we're running concurrently just to make sure that everyone can get the full information that they need, the full introduction to Envision. If that's where they are, or if they're experienced ENVSPs, they can knock out all of their prescribed courses on the 17th as well.
Make sure I'm mic'd. So you were talking about the prescribed courses, and those are for people. Those are free, right? But the actual workshop is not. Is that correct?
You got it. So our prescribed courses are the registration for those is free. I know I've been doing a lot of communication with our ENVSPs to make sure everybody's signed up for the right courses. So if you are an ENVSP, if you need to know what course you need to sign up for, you're welcome to contact me, and I can get you into the right Zoom meeting room, so the right virtual room, so that you are taking the right courses. Those are all provided for free. The ENVSP training also run on the 17th does require additional registration, but with that you get the full ENVSP training facilitated by an experienced Envision trainer. It's actually facilitated by me, so you'll get to hang out with me for the full day, and I'll share with you everything that we know about Envision. You'll also get to network with other people. We've got about a dozen people signed up for this course that are all in the same boat, that want to learn more about Envision, hear kind of practical examples about how to use Envision, and sit for that ENVSP exam. And then after that workshop, included with your registration fee, you also get access to our full online version of that course for your reference and the ENVSP exam. So we do have just an additional registration for that ENVSP training course if you would like to sign up for that one. Again, that's on November 17th, a full day.
I'm glad to hear that you are the one who is going to be facilitating that, because she is the best at it. I'm telling you, she's really, really good. So now moving on to the actual virtual conference. We ready for that, ladies?
The big show.
All right, the big show. Yeah, you guys have been working a while on this, and kudos to you, because I really think I was on one of your meetings and I was like, wow, there is so much to this, so much to do for putting this virtual conference together. And that was the only meeting I took part in. And I was like, I'm out. I gave my 2 cents and then I jetted. But let's talk about that. We'll start with maybe Judith. Tell us about why we're holding this virtual conference. What is it that we want them to get away from this and take away from this?
Yes, so we have all been in this wild ride with COVID-19 and trying to recover. So we want to use the space that we have in a conference to start talking about those ideas, like how can we recover from this? what is taking the best foot forward. So the title is supposed to be like, like these like shovel-worthy ideas for fresh starts. So it's like this like Kickstarter for brainstorming together on what comes ahead. And right now we are positioned in a moment of transitions. Like yesterday, news came out, the vaccine, it's very effective and might change the whole game. So it's the right moment to start discussing, what are the right projects that we need to have for infrastructure to leverage public health, equity, racial justice. And we have a bunch of exciting people that have signed up to speak at the event. And this is also a continuation, I would say, from our first event back in March when everything was starting. So we have learned a lot since then. And we have included a lot of spaces for interaction and discussion with all the attendees.
So yeah, we upped our game, basically, is what you're saying. Even though I have to tell you that first conference that you guys put on, and I say this all the time, it's not hyperbole, but I had started with ISI not too long before that. And when I took part in that and was privy to it, I was in awe, really, of the things that I was learning. And I know others were too. And so that's why you guys have had so many people already register for this conference. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you've taken it from an A to an A+, is good in my book. And Judith, you were talking about our title. I want to show people this. Judith made this. Awesome, Judith. I love it. So if you see this on social media, go and make sure that you sign up for the conference and know that Judith was the person. She has some graphic art in your background, huh?
Oh, yeah. A lot of
yeah, I'm gonna hit you up in the future because it's much better than what I could do. So very impressive. Well, let's ask Lindsay. I'm curious about our keynotes. We just solidified who they are. Talk to us a little bit about that, because that's a pretty big deal right now.
Yeah, we're very excited to announce that we will be joined by Deputy Mayor Lucinda Babers. She is the Deputy Mayor for Operations and Infrastructure for Washington, D.C. So she is the go-to. She is the one that is leading the planning for infrastructure improvements in Washington, D.C. She's going to be one of our two keynote speakers joining us on our first webinar on the 18th. That webinar starts at 10 a.m. And so she'll be joining us to provide some keynote remarks and really point to everything that we're talking about within the virtual conference and really kind of get us in the right mindset for identifying, what are the solutions to these challenges that we've been facing for the past year, and what's the outlook for next year. So she will be joined by Professor Richard Foreman, who is a professor from Harvard University, and he's not just, I shouldn't downplay him as just a professor from Harvard University if that's not awesome enough, but he is the father of landscape ecology. He is a very prolific author and has a lot of information. We're so excited to be able to welcome him to share the keynote spotlight as well, and provide his perspective on how we can be structuring our projects such that they are integrated with the environment and more sustainable into the future. So we're very excited to welcome them both. And I know Judith, you've worked with Professor Foreman before, haven't you? And you were the one that secured him as our keynote. So I wanted to pass it back to you to share a little bit more about why we're so excited to have him join us.
Yes, I was actually his student in the university. So it's a very beloved professor here at the GSD. Like, the students love the materials, and he's a pioneer on road ecology, and he has written all these books. So he's always writing books. So we are very happy that he makes some time to do a keynote in our conference and to learn about green spaces, what ecologically do they mean, and are large green spaces better than smaller ones, and what's the difference? So that's very exciting.
Yeah. That is super exciting. And gosh, kudos to you for getting him on board. And it's great to hear that we've got Babers coming as well, especially right now with all the change in Washington and the new year starting. And I'm thrilled about it because we're doing some advocacy here at ISI to try to get, the federal lawmakers to learn about Envision and maybe try to incorporate this into the infrastructure as we're building. So having that connection might be a good way to, because how those folks are tied into Washington, what's going on in the federal level. So I'm excited to have both of those persons at our virtual conference. Let's talk a little bit about the first day. Maybe just, generally speaking, what can we expect on the very first day? Is that you, Lindsay? Would that be maybe a good question?
Sure. So on our first day, we're going to open our virtual conference with our what we're calling our opening general session webinar. So on November 18th, everybody can join us at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll have a 2 hours of webinar presentations lined up, including those 2 keynote speakers. But we're also going to be starting that webinar off with a moment of recognition. We've acknowledged that we've faced some serious challenges in the past year, in the past couple of years, but ISI also wants to take a moment in partnership with the Zofnass program at Harvard to really recognize our success stories from the past few years. So we'll be starting our webinar off with some opening remarks from our leadership, and then pausing for a moment of recognition where we talk about project success stories, where our Envision users have had an impact, where our advocates have had successes, and really start off on a celebratory note, so that we can all get in the right mindset toward identifying and putting in place solutions for 2021. So that's what we've got kicking off on Wednesday the 18th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we'll follow that one up with an afternoon webinar starting at 2, where we're focusing specifically on equity and social justice and how infrastructure can play a role in advancing and improving equity and social justice. And one of the things that I really am looking forward to about this virtual conference is that we recognize that we've got big challenges. We recognize that we're in this infrastructure industry, we're being asked questions that we might not necessarily have been asked before, and we don't have all of the right answers. So we've really expanded our network to draw in speakers that may not be from directly within the ISI or the Zofnass program network of speakers, but to really bring that additional perspective on how to address some pretty significant challenges. And so that's what we have lined up for our speakers on Wednesday. And Judith had mentioned some additional points for interaction. We also have micro networking sessions set up after those webinars so that you can talk a little bit more and have further discussions with our speakers. We also have a hour-long networking session that evening from 5 to 6 Eastern, where you can join other virtual conference participants. We've got I don't want to say activity, it's not necessarily like an icebreaker activity, but we've got some discussion questions and formatting structured so that it's a little bit more structured networking, but it will be a good chance for all participants to log in, join for some networking if they would like, meet some new people virtually and have some valuable discussions. So that is what we've got all lined up for the first day, hoping we are packing it with exciting information so that we can continue on and have a wonderful retention of registrants for the second day as well.
Well, what I love about what you said is that you were talking about, what I heard was solutions, not just talking about problems, because I think too often that's what we do, is we focus on the problem and not on possible solutions. So this kind of sounds to me like we're focusing on solving some of the biggest problems we're facing. We really feel this is a fresh start, and great minds thinking together can make all of this a reality. So that's what I'm hearing that this conference really is intended to do. Am I right? And Judith, can you talk about that and maybe just take us into the second part and see if it's virtually on the same track or what you like about the next portion of this virtual conference?
So the next day, so we started talking more in a specificity about COVID-19. So we are going to be talking about recovering from a global pandemic. And so we have two sessions, and one is going to be focused on COVID-19 and public health. So we are going to hear about what are the strategies that are being done in leadership, what can you do for healthy buildings, and what going forward, how can we improve public health through infrastructure and through the built environment. Then the session B, we're going to talk about recovery and infrastructure investments. So what are people doing now, to think, how can we get a better outcome? How can we plan for better projects and improve the economic outlooks, and also talk about finance and how do you optimize the investments, and what are the tools that are out there that we could use to do that. So it's kind of like, okay, so how do we now do things? What are the tools that we have? Who's doing something in this area, and who's doing in another area? Then in yes. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just listening. Sorry, I was just listening, and
in the afternoon session, we're going to hear about solutions, to these problems that we talked about, and what are those that are transforming the sustainability and health. So, for example, we're going to hear about a sector, the transit sector. What are they doing? What proved successful during the pandemic, and also what are the new solutions that we are looking at? There is a lot of talk about wastewater epidemiology, so we're going to have a topic on it, and also the digital solutions. As during the lockdowns, it was so hard, to get utilities to secure the running of the infrastructure. So those important lessons, of how we learn how this past 9-10 months since COVID hit.
Yeah, I think this is going to be fascinating because the lessons learned are really valuable. I think talking about the economics of it, which is really the crux of what we need to be talking about, because I've been reading books lately on regenerative capitalism and how we need to start thinking about the economics of it. We need to put it first, but yet at the same time think about the climate and making it more of a green economy and green investing. And so it's all tied together in that as we move forward into 2021. Real quickly, if you're watching, we've got a couple people making some comments, so I want to put it up. Feel free to comment if you or have a question. Post your question real quickly. You can even tell us where you're from and where you're tuning in from. Like I said, I'm here in actually Alexandria, not Washington. I always say that. It's literally, I could throw a rock over there and there it is. But Lindsay is here in this region as well, right, Lindsay?
I am. I'm in Fredericksburg, so I would have to have a better arm to be able to throw a rock to DC, but...
Well, you're younger than me. I think you could do it, actually.
I usually take the train,
yeah.
So I'll bring my rock on the train.
And Judith, where are you coming from? Where are you coming from?
So I am at Cambridge in Massachusetts, and we are having some of the nicest days. And coming from
you just jinxed us, Judith. We're going to have a bad day tomorrow. I hear it's supposed to be rainy. Oh man, I've been loving this too. It's been really hard to work indoors. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
We have someone who is watching who says that Robert Hanlon says we're sharing the event on all channels and they're looking forward to it. Awesome. Thank you, Robert. We are definitely looking forward to it. What have we missed? Have we missed any? Oh, I know what we've missed. You kind of hit on the virtual, what do you call it? The, darn. What is that? The video, the moment of recognition, the project highlights. Okay, I should know this. I should not be blanking on it because I spent an inordinate amount of time in the last 2 weeks trying to create this video for this. And it's done, which is probably why I'm giddy right now. But yes, talk about what we're doing there, Lindsay. Let them know what we're doing with the moment of recognition.
Sure. So our moment of recognition, we've had so many success stories over the past year and leading up to this past year. We've just announced that ISI has verified our 100th project. So we announced that a few weeks ago. I'm sure we are past 100 by now. So great milestone. So we want to take a moment to celebrate those achievements by our project teams, by the ENVSPs that helped us get there and have these exciting things to celebrate. So we're taking, and it is a moment, it's a long moment. So we've got about 40 minutes or so where we're gonna showcase some of the great projects. Diane, the video that you've been working on, were you able to get all 100 projects into that? So are we giving shout outs to all of our—
I did. I got them all in. I pulled my hair out trying to get them all in, but they fit all the way up to one of our most recent. You know what that is, Lindsay? You know what one of the most recent is? Really big one in California.
Yes.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say what it is. I want you to,
that'll be the cliffhanger.
Yes, a cliffhanger. So go to the virtual conference, find out which one I'm talking about, a very big project in the United States that we just verified. So at the very end of the last, I did 3 videos. It's at the very end of the last one. You'll see it. It's a big splash.
Nice.
Yeah, but what's really cool is that when you hear Melissa and Anthony, Melissa being our one of our executives here, and Anthony being our CEO, they kind of talk about some of these projects as we show the projects, and the stories that they tell about some of them are pretty fascinating. I found myself, usually it's like 27 minutes long. Usually you can like 2, but no, I was literally like, really? Wow, that's neat. And so I think you will too.
And Melissa and Anthony they are the go-to for project stories, ISI history, and the things that they share. I think the things that you'll see come through are their enthusiasm for it. So it's very exciting to hear these stories directly from them, because you're getting like the best information, and they're just as excited about it as well. And that really comes through and makes for exciting storytelling.
Boy, I couldn't have said that better, because their passion and their excitement and just their belief in Envision really shows in these projects, and why we're doing this, why we're here. And I think that's one thing that you come to understand, is just really who ISI is, what Envision is, and how it's so neat to see how in Canada and Italy and in the United States, how all these different sizes of projects all have thought about using, or not just thought, but have used Envision and made it really, really great. So we have some shout outs that I'll put up here before we close. One person here says, many congratulations. Thank you so much. And guess where from? Greece. So, we get people from all over the world who watch these. And in the weeks to come, if you missed the live, they can watch it on social media for a couple of weeks. We'll have it up there for you. Also airing on YouTube. I don't know if you guys knew that, but we're simulcasting. So we're not only on LinkedIn, we're also on YouTube. So, I got a dog. Y'all hearing that? Okay. Yeah, he's just trying to get attention like he always does every time I do one of these podcasts. If you want to sign up, where do they go, Lindsay?
Sustainableinfrastructure.org. And we've got a link. Do we have a link directly from our homepage? Be able to find it right there on that events page too, yeah?
Yeah, right up at the top of when you go to our homepage, right at the very top, when you first click on our homepage, you're going to see a banner, and that banner clicks through if you want to, but you just click right on that top banner. It takes you to the page that has every webinar, everything you want to sign up for. Because maybe you can't make it to the second day, right? Maybe you can only make it to the first day, or you can sign up for individually for any one that you want to go to.
And that's fine. Yeah. If you have some time, you can join and, put it in the background.
Yeah. Are you guys just like breathing a sigh of relief that it's all coming to an end? Or are you guys still kind of like,
not until Friday of next week.
And then aren't you taking a vacation or something? You're like, I'm out.
Yeah. So the week thereafter is Thanksgiving. And so I've got that whole week blocked off for a big sigh of relief.
Yeah. How about you, Judith? Are you like breathing too, going, you got anything special planned?
No, it's kind of like very intense week before the event right now, and next week is gonna be intense, and then poof, release.
Yeah, better you than me. I can't handle that stress at all. So, so better you guys. No stress here, and look for it too, by the way, on our social media. So if you forget everything about this, pay attention to our social media. We'll have more out for you, and literally hundreds and hundreds of people are coming to this, so you are right. All right, any final thoughts? Anything we missed? We good?
So I might want to talk a little about the networking. So we also have a list of people who want to network, and how many people have signed up already, Lindsay?
Oh yeah, so that's a great thing to mention, Judith. Thank you. So when you register for each of the webinars, you'll complete just a short little form, first name, email, that kind of thing. And we have an opt-in to our networking list. So Friday of this week, I'm going to be pulling all of the names and emails for folks that said, yes, I do want to be on the networking list, and distributing that to our networking group. So on Friday of this week, if you opted into being on our networking list, you will receive that networking list from me later this week, so that you can see who's going to be joining you, see who you might want to network with further, and you'll have their contact information so you can reach out to them. And so that's a good thing for doing that. We're also going to be distributing our full conference program. So Judith, you are working on that flip book, so that we can share that out, so that everybody can have the full rundown of what we're working on. So you're right, I had completely forgotten about our networking list, and we'll be sending that out later this week.
Cool. Yeah. Is that it? Are we good? You know, it's always something, isn't it? You always forget something. It's so easy to forget when you're doing this, when you don't, when you're going live. I think we got everything. All right. Well, then I'm going to tease real quick, just a minute. Everybody stay. Don't go anywhere. On the 24th, we are talking about aggregate construction technology, November 24th, day before Thanksgiving. So join us for that right here on LinkedIn, a podcast live. I'm going to have to brush up my skills on that. And then we are doing a communications webinar December 2nd at 1 p.m. with HDR with Jen Nanetti, who is an Envision guru, and she is going to talk about the value of Envision. I will be just talking about communication in general. And that's pretty much it for education right now, right, Lindsay? Or we have anything else you wanted to plug? You got a new course coming up?
We've just published a new course and everybody's ISI accounts have access to a brand new course, again, kind of on that theme of 100 verified projects. The course that we just posted is taking a full look at lessons learned from all of our V2 projects. So that's a fully curated, developed course that folks can access. Right now, it's a self-paced course on demand. You can access it through your All Courses library. It's Lessons Learned from Envision V2 is that new course that's available.
You know, when doing the videos that I had to literally put every project on there. I learned so much about the projects we do. I feel like now I'm an expert. You know, name a project, I know all about it because I had to do it for, you know, to put the video together. But it is really neat to see just the difference, the diversity in the projects that we have done. 100 is really a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of ISI. And proud of you guys, too, for all the hard work that you put into this virtual conference. I know it's going to be a huge success. And I couldn't thank you more for taking part in this podcast today. Thank you.
Great.
All right. We will close out the show. Thanks for those folks who watched. We really appreciate it. I know you have a busy day. Hopefully your lunch, you could just eat your sandwich as you're watching us here. But thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and we will see you on the 24th. And then we'll see you before that. We'll see you on the 18th and the 19th. Bye.
Bye.